Look to the left. We're going back to World War II in a very, very important airplane that helped to change the course of the war. Listen to the sound of the B-25 Mitchell bomber. Those are two 1,700 horsepower radial engines. Rather than what we have in our cars, which are straight 6s or 4s or a V6 or a V8, and are liquid cooled, this one has a radial engine with the cylinders arranged in a circle around a central propeller shaft. So the power strokes of the pistons go right to that center and turn the propellers. Giving a top speed of about 230 miles per hour, the B-25 Mitchell bomber was pivotal at the beginning of the war. Our country was dragged into World War II by a brutal attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, that crippled our naval fleet there and cost 2,400 American lives. And Japan and their aircraft from the Imperial Japanese Navy dealt us a horrible blow. Now, if you will, here comes the B-25, flown by Larry Kelly. Let's watch. Now, we got to take just a half a second. Do you see the Geico Skytypers typing their messages? Happy birthday, J.R. Jay Rabbit is our sound guy here. He is the #1 sound guy in the airshow business with Airshow 1. And it's his birthday tomorrow. Would you join me in a round of applause for Jay Rabbit? Just awesome. Now, the B-25 Mitchell bomber, with the bombs open, was designed for bombing at medium altitudes. Let me tell you what happened after we were dragged into World War II. The Japanese were beating us at every turn in the Pacific. We were getting pounded and hurt and defeated. Our men fighting out there needed a morale boost. The American people needed a morale boost. And so the President of the United States went to his military leaders and said, we got to get Japan back. Japan had not been attacked on its own soil in over 2,000 years. They felt they were invincible. And so the plan was designed that would bring together types of military hardware that were never intended to work together. One of those was the aircraft carrier. The other was the B-25 Mitchell bomber. New to the Army Air Force, it usually took about a half a mile to take off. But the plan was designed to take 16 of these airplanes and put them on an aircraft carrier, steam to within about 300 miles of the coast of Japan, launch them from the aircraft carrier, bomb 5 different cities in Japan. Each aircraft would have 400 or 500-pound bombs, and they would go after the cities of Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, Kobe, and Yokohama. But the idea of doing this was almost impossible. So a very well-known military aviator by the name of Jimmy Doolittle was assigned to put this mission together. So he went to the members of the 17th Bomb Group, one of the first units to get the B-25 bomber, And he told them, there's a secret mission that we have to conduct. It's very dangerous, and there is I can't tell you what the target is, and there is a very good likelihood you will not survive that mission. I need 79 men to go with me on the mission, 5 men per each of 16 airplanes. Every man in the room stood up. 79 were selected to go with him. They trained down in Florida to launch these aircraft under some proper weight conditions of about 700 feet. And then they were flown to California, secretly put on board the USS Hornet, with cranes lifting them into position and crews pushing them back and chaining them down to the deck, and they steamed for Japan, hoping to launch within 300 miles of the coast of Japan and then drop their bombs and then fly to safe bases in China, refuel, and come home. But on their way to the target, the carrier fleet was detected and spotted by a Japanese picket boat, and they feared that radio information had been sent to the Japanese of the approaching carrier fleet and the aircraft aboard it. They were given the opportunity to abort the mission, but all 80 men said, no, we want to go anyway. They scrambled aboard their airplanes. They launched these airplanes, ladies and gentlemen, in 467 feet, only about 1⅓ or 1½ football fields in length. All 16 planes got off the deck and into the air. They flew at 50 feet above the water for 5 hours, approaching the coast of Japan. When they did reach the coast, they popped up to 1,500 feet, and taking Japan by total surprise, were able to deliver all of their bombs on target. But then they had to turn and go to China, knowing they wouldn't have enough gas to get there because of that extended launch. Some of them ditched in the sea, several drowned. Some were captured by the Japanese and executed as war criminals. Others flew into horrible weather where there was zero visibility, flew until the engines quit and bailed out. In talking to one of the Doolittle Raiders who had that bailout, he said, "We didn't even know where the ground was until we hit it." All of the aircraft were lost. Jimmy Doolittle feared he would be court-martialed because of that. But in point of fact, the Japanese feeling of invincibility had been shattered, and it changed their military planning to keep men and materiel back in Japan to defend their homeland. And as a result, it was deemed a strategic success, and Jimmy Doolittle, as a lieutenant colonel, was promoted past colonel in the field to brigadier general and given the Medal of Honor. Those 80 men changed the course of the war within only 4 months of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Of those 80 men, 2 are still alive today. One is Colonel Richard Cole, the co-pilot of Jimmy Doolittle's lead aircraft, and the other is Staff Sergeant David Thatcher. The Doolittle raid remains to this day the air mission against which all other air missions have been measured. I hope you will join me in a salute with your applause to the 80 men of the Doolittle raid and how they defended our freedom and changed the course of World War II. Panchito today is being flown by Larry Kelly, the owner of the aircraft. They are representing the disabled American veterans. The DAV tent is way down to show right, and you'll see this B-25 parked up there. If you're interested in learning more about the fine work done by the disabled American veterans, or if you know a veteran who may not be aware of some of the benefits entitled to him or her, check out the DAV tent and talk to one of the people there. They can give you some important information about it.